Welcome to part 2 of the Ford Mustang build-up. Nearly forgot what car I was doing then. Made some progress on it now, which is quite good. If you can remember from part 1, I did say that the bodywork was in a bit of a state and it needed to be cleaned. To help get most of the paint off that was actually on there, I did put it in a bath of Dettol. That helped get the paint off as much as possible. Then I went over to a 2500 grit wet and dry sandpaper and just gave it basically a wet sanding to get rid of the rest of the paint that was on there, and that ensured that the body was as smooth as it possibly could be. I then used the Zero Paints light grey primer to give it two coats of the primer, and then I just basically gave it another light sanding down after that. This is the first time that I've actually used the Zero Paints products, and I gotta say, really happy with the quality of the product, really, to be quite honest. The primer went down really smoothly. There wasn't really a blemish in the primer, but I still sanded it down anyway, just to, you know, make sure that it was as smooth as it possibly could be. And then, because I'm using the pearlescent orange, I didn't know how translucent that was going to be, so I didn't want to run the risk of putting this on the body and then finding out that, you know, you can still see the grey primer through it. So what I did do is I used the Hemi Orange, also from Zero Paints, and I gave the body two light coats of the Hemi Orange, and I didn't even use a quarter of the bottle to do that, to be fair. When that dried off, I then gave it another light sanding down with 3000 grit, wet and dry, just to make sure that the body was smooth. I mean, again, you know, the body looked really smooth, but I just wanted to make sure, again, you know, that the body was as smooth as it could be. So the next stage for me now, really, on the body is to get the pearlescent orange on. Once I've got the pearlescent orange on, I need to let that dry for a couple of days. Then I'll be able to lay the stripes down, which is going to be a slightly lighter shade of orange, of the pearlescent orange. Get that done, and then I'll be able to clear coat that. But yeah, we've got the body done. We've also got, if we can get that out, there we go. We've also got the engine painted in the Hemi Orange as well. That's actually going to also be painted in the orange pearlescent paint. We've also got the bonnet done, so that's looking quite good. And then we've got a few of the other engine components that need to go on there as well, that are painted in the orange. I mean, obviously the belts on this need to be done in the matte black. And then we've also got a few more of the parts there that have been completed in the orange as well. So happy with the way that they're looking. There are a couple more parts that I need to do that I totally forgot about. The wing mirrors I need to do in the orange, and also the brake calipers as well need to be done in that orange too. But yeah, it's not coming along too bad. Going to get the bodywork finished off first, really, before I start properly on the interior. I just want to get the clear coat down, just so that's got plenty of time to cure. I mean, normally that stuff is normally sort of touch dry within an hour, and it would take about 72 hours for it to fully cure. But I just want to kind of get the bodywork done and get that set, or let the clear gloss set whilst I'm working on the interior. So, you know, it's going to have a good few weeks for it to set, and then before I put the whole thing together, I can then just sort of give the body a quick polishing off, really. It's the 2K resin, sorry, the 2K clear coat that I'm using from Zero Paints. So that is basically, it comes in this box. So you've then got the actual clear coat itself, you've got the thinners, and you've also got the hardener. So looking forward to using that actually, just to see what that stuff is actually like to use. Hopefully, you know, so excuse me, if the pearlescent orange and the clear coat go down as nicely as those two have, then, you know, I've got no worries at all, to be quite honest, because they've come out really nice. One of the other things that I did do, started on with this kit, is I swapped it over to the 0.5mm needle in my airbrush, and I actually got a better coat out of that bigger needle compared to the 0.3mm. So I think, you know, for bigger cars, that's the one that I'm using from now on, I think. And then the 0.3mm can be used just for all the fine detail stuff. But yeah, that's about it. I'm just going to sort of carry on, get the pearlescent orange down, and as soon as that's down and dried, I will come back to you. We have now got the pearlescent orange paint down on the body, and I am glad that we did put the hemi orange paint down as a base coat on this, mainly because the pearlescent orange paint is translucent. So if we were to put the pearlescent directly onto the primer, we would have been painting until like the end of next year really, and gone through God knows how many gallons of pearlescent paint just to sort of put a decent coat on there, and by then you would have lost all the panel lines. So yeah, really happy that I chose to sort of, throw a bit of caution into the mix there and put the hemi orange down. And the other thing as well is, by putting the pearlescent paint down, it has actually brightened up the paintwork, whereas before the orange was quite dark, it's now turned quite light. So I'm glad that that's happened. The pearlescent in it, you can't really see on the bodywork at the moment through the camera. Reason being is because this stuff, when it dries to a semi-gloss, or a semi-matte should I say, sorry. So it's not, you know, so you can't really see the pearlescent in it. I mean, if I look up close, I can see the pearlescent in the paintwork. So I'm kind of hoping that when we get the 2K clear gloss down, that should hopefully bring out the gloss, we should bring out the pearlescent on the paint. But I don't know, let's see if we just have a little look on the camera to see if we can capture the pearlescent, which I don't think we're going to be able to do, to be quite honest. I don't think you can see it on there. But it is there, I can see it on the bodywork. So, you know, as I say, I just now need to wait until I get the clear coat on there. So we've got the body done. We've also got the engine coated as well. That is going to now need to be coated in a different shade of the pearlescent. I wanted to treat all of the parts in exactly the same way, really, because by the time I lay the stripes down on the bodywork, because they're going to be a slightly lighter shade of the orange, they're going to look slightly different on the engine if I just put the lighter pearlescent over the primer that was on the engine, as compared to what they're going to be on the bodywork. So I've treated absolutely everything, you know, with the pearlescent orange paint. and then what I can do is get the body masked up for the stripes, and then everything that needs to be painted to match the stripes, I can then paint them with the lighter colour, and then hopefully everything will be in keeping then and look the same colour. So we've got the little bits for the engine done, or the dressing for the engine done as well on those parts up there. We've also got the brake caliper, and there's another brake caliper, and there's two more brake calipers. They're done, and then we've also got the wing mirrors, both of the wing mirrors that are there, and then the brake calipers there as well, and then another two there. So the ones that we've got on the other sprue will just basically fit on the back of these ones. So that'll be cool. The only thing that I've forgotten to do is the engine bay, and that's the only thing that I forgot to do. But not too worried, because I can do that at a later date, really, to be quite honest, because that's just going to be the same colour as the bodywork anyway. So I can just basically put the primer on that, then put the Hemi orange down on that, and then put the pearlescent orange down on that afterwards. So that'll be alright. Also been doing a little bit of work on the door panels. I got one of them here. You can see there we've actually got the hole in there for the mood lighting, and we've also got one back there as well. That just needs a little bit of tidying up. I just need to go across the back end of that and tidy that up. And then in some areas, if you look at the top section there, you can see where the light's coming through up around this area. So I'm just going to need to do some light blocking on this to make sure that we don't get any light come through. I'm kind of thinking with the door locks there, I'm kind of thinking of actually scribing those out as well, and lighting those up. I'm not sure yet, to be quite honest, but that's what I'm thinking. And also the same thing with the door handles, but again, I'm not too sure. I might do that, I'm not sure. What I'm going to need to do, if I do that, I'm going to need to basically put those in a little box to keep those safe. So we've got those done on that. Also been working on the dashboard, and as you can see, the little panel there, we've scribed around that as well to get the lighting in for that. We've also removed the big screen that was in there, so I can get a clear bit of plastic in that now, ready for the decal. And I've also scribed out the hole for the CD player just there as well. That needs tidying up a little bit from the back end. The only thing left for me to do really is the buttons for the radio. What I'm going to need to do for those is just basically scribe out those lines a little bit better, so they're more pronounced. And then I'll need to just drill some holes in each of those buttons as well, and the knobs, just to get a little bit of light coming through those, just so we can sort of pretend that, you know, the stereo's lit. So I've still got the other door pocket to do as well, and then once I've done those bits, I can then think about the door locks and the door handles, see if I want to actually sort of take those out, sort of thing, and just get those lit up. The other thing as well that we need to do, the center console, you can see there we've got the light running through, or sorry, we've got holes running through on either side for the mood lighting. The only thing that's left to do on this is there is a series of little buttons up here. I just need to let's just see if we can get that to focus. There you go. So that you can see those three buttons there. I just need to remove those as well for the lighting on those. So that's those bits done. I'm still toying with the idea of the trying to light up the steering wheel. You can see that there's 4 buttons on each part of the steering wheel there. That will involve some intense digging out actually to get those out, and then finding a way of running the wires down for them. I think it's possible to do it. You know, I really do think it's actually possible to do that, but we'll just have to see. The other thing that we've done as well is we've got both of the seats together. So they've been put together now and they're looking quite good. I just need to do a little bit more tidying up on those, and then just get a little bit of fill down the seams on each side, just to make sure that we haven't got any seams when we're sort of going to paint them. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. So as I say, the next stage for me really now is just letting this paint dry for a good 3 days before I start laying down the masking tape for the stripes. Because I mean, this is fresh paint. It is sort of dry to the touch. I mean, you know, I can't get away from that. That is dry to the touch. But you know, really going to wear on the side of caution on that one before I start painting it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here now, and then I'm just going to carry on and wait, get a few more bits done to the interior, and I will come back to you as soon as the stripes are done on the car, and all the other parts that I'm doing have had the lighter shade of pearlescent orange put down.